Throughout human history, civilizations have risen and fallen, leaving behind traces of their existence etched in stone, buried in sand, and hidden beneath the waves. Yet among these remnants lie puzzles so profound, so enigmatic, that they continue to baffle our greatest minds today. These are not merely historical curiosities, but windows into ways of thinking, building, and understanding the world that seem almost impossible given the tools and knowledge we believe ancient peoples possessed. From the precise astronomical alignments of megalithic monuments to mechanical devices that predate similar technology, by over a millennium, from massive stone constructions that challenge our understanding of ancient engineering, to artwork visible only from heights that ancient peoples supposedly could never reach. These mysteries force us to reconsider everything we think we know about our ancestors. What secrets did they possess that we have lost? What knowledge was deliberately hidden or accidentally forgotten? And perhaps most intriguingly, were some of these achievements so far beyond their supposed capabilities that we must fundamentally revise our understanding of ancient human potential? Today, we embark on a journey through time to explore the world's most enduring mysteries, enigmas that have survived millennia yet continue to resist our most sophisticated attempts at explanation. These are the puzzles that remind us that for all our modern technology and accumulated knowledge, there are still profound secrets waiting in the shadows of history. The Great Pyramid of Giza, monument to the impossible. Standing majestically on the Giza Plateau for over 4.5 millennia, the Great Pyramid represents perhaps humanity's most audacious architectural achievement. Yet the more we study this colossal monument, the more mysterious it becomes. Built during the 4th dynasty of Egypt's Old Kingdom, around 2580–2510 BCE, the pyramid was originally 481 feet tall and remained the world's tallest human-made structure for nearly 4,000 years. The statistics alone are staggering. The pyramid contains approximately 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2.5 and 80 tons. The total weight approaches 6 million tons. The base covers 13 acres, and the 4 sides are aligned to the cardinal directions with an accuracy that varies by only 3/60th of a degree, a precision that rivals modern construction techniques. But statistics only begin to capture the true mystery. How did ancient Egyptian workers quarry, transport, and precisely position these massive stones? The largest granite blocks were transported from Aswan, over 500 miles to the south. Even if we accept that they used the Nile for transport, how did they move 80-ton blocks from the riverbank to the construction site? How did they lift these enormous stones to heights of nearly 500 feet? Modern construction cranes struggle with loads of this magnitude. Yet somehow ancient workers accomplished this feat, using technology we assume was primitive. The precision is equally baffling. The pyramid's base is level to within just 2.1 centimeters, an achievement that would be impressive even with modern laser leveling equipment. The internal passages and chambers present additional puzzles. The king's chamber contains a granite sarcophagus that is wider than the passage leading to it, suggesting it was installed during construction. The so-called Queen's Chamber and the mysterious subterranean chamber serve unknown purposes. The Grand Gallery, with its corbelled ceiling and precise stonework, demonstrates architectural sophistication that seems to serve no obvious functional purpose. Recent discoveries have deepened the mystery. In 2017, scientists using cosmic ray imaging discovered a previously unknown void above the Grand Gallery, approximately 100 feet long. Its purpose remains unknown, adding another layer to the pyramid's enigmatic nature. The astronomical alignments are perhaps most intriguing of all. The pyramid's sides align precisely with the cardinal directions. The ascending passage points toward the pole star as it appeared in 2500 BCE. The so-called star shafts from the king's and queen's chambers align with specific stars and constellations significant to ancient Egyptian religion. How did ancient Egyptian astronomers achieve such precision without modern instruments? How did they calculate and implement these alignments while simultaneously solving the enormous engineering challenges of construction? The level of coordination required between astronomical knowledge, mathematical calculation, and practical construction seems almost impossibly sophisticated. Alternative theories abound, each attempting to explain what conventional archaeology cannot. Some propose that the ancient Egyptians possessed advanced technology that was later lost. Others suggest extraterrestrial assistance. Still others argue that our timeline of human civilization is fundamentally flawed, and that advanced civilizations existed much earlier than we believe. Yet perhaps the most profound mystery is not how the pyramid was built, but why. The traditional explanation, that it served as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, is increasingly questioned. No mummy was ever found inside. The internal chambers seem designed for purposes other than burial. The massive expenditure of resources and labor suggests a purpose far more significant than even honoring a god-king. Some researchers propose that the pyramid served astronomical or calendrical functions, essentially acting as a massive stone computer for tracking celestial movements. Others suggest it was a spiritual machine of some kind, designed to facilitate the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife through complex rituals we no longer understand. The Great Pyramid stands as humanity's most enduring riddle, a testament to capabilities that seem to exceed what we believe possible for its era. It forces us to confront the possibility that our ancestors possessed knowledge and abilities that we have drastically underestimated, or perhaps entirely lost. The Sphinx, guardian of ancient secrets. Crouching eternally on the Giza plateau, the Great Sphinx presents a mystery that may be even more profound than the nearby pyramids. This colossal sculpture, carved from a single piece of limestone, stretches 240 feet long and stands 66 feet high. With the body of a lion and a human head, it has gazed eastward toward the rising sun for millennia, silently guarding secrets that continue to elude us. Conventional archaeology dates the Sphinx to around 2500 BCE, attributing its construction to Pharaoh Khafra of the 4th dynasty. The human head is believed to represent Khafra himself, watching over his nearby pyramid complex. This timeline places the Sphinx firmly within Egypt's Old Kingdom period, contemporaneous with the Great Pyramid building era. However, mounting evidence suggests this conventional dating may be dramatically wrong. The mystery begins with the Sphinx's condition. The massive sculpture shows extensive erosion, but not the kind of erosion typical of Egypt's arid climate. Instead, the weathering patterns suggest prolonged exposure to heavy rainfall, precipitation that Egypt has not experienced since the end of the last ice age, over 10,000 years ago. Geologist Robert Schoch, who has extensively studied the Sphinx, argues that the weathering patterns indicate the monument is far older than traditionally believed, possibly dating to 7000 BCE or earlier. This would place its construction during a period when the Sahara was green and Egypt experienced regular rainfall. If accurate, this dating would revolutionize our understanding of ancient civilization, suggesting that sophisticated monumental architecture existed thousands of years before we previously believed possible. The head of the Sphinx presents another puzzle. It appears disproportionately small compared to the massive lion body, leading some researchers to suggest it was recarved from an original design. If the Sphinx originally depicted a complete lion, when was the head modified, and why? Some propose that the current human features were carved during the time of Khafra, transforming a much older lion monument into a representation of the pharaoh. But the mysteries surrounding the Sphinx extend far beyond questions of age and original design. Numerous legends and historical accounts speak of hidden chambers and secret passages beneath and within the monument. Ancient texts describe underground chambers containing libraries of ancient wisdom, sealed vaults holding treasures from lost civilizations, and passages connecting the Sphinx to the nearby pyramids. Modern investigation has revealed tantalizing hints that these legends may have basis in fact. Ground-penetrating radar and seismic surveys have detected void spaces beneath the Sphinx, suggesting the presence of chambers or tunnels. In the 1990s, researchers discovered a small chamber behind the Sphinx's right paw, though its contents and purpose remain unclear. The mystery deepened in 1993 when robot explorations of small shafts within the Great Pyramid discovered a door-like stone slab with metal handles. Similar features were later found in other passages. These discoveries suggest that the Giza complex contains far more hidden spaces than previously imagined, possibly including the legendary chambers beneath the Sphinx. Egyptian authorities have been reluctant to pursue aggressive exploration of these potential chambers, citing concerns about damaging the monument. This has led to speculation about what might be hidden and why there seems to be resistance to discovering it. Are the authorities protecting the monument from damage, or are they protecting secrets that would challenge our understanding of ancient history? The Sphinx's astronomical alignments add another layer to the mystery. The monument faces due east, toward the point where the sun rises on the spring and autumn equinoxes. During the spring equinox around 10,500 BCE, the Sphinx would have gazed directly at the constellation Leo as it rose with the sun, a perfect astronomical alignment between the lion-bodied monument and the Lion constellation. This alignment, known as the Orion correlation theory when applied to the pyramids, suggests that the Giza complex was designed as a terrestrial mirror of celestial patterns. If true, it implies that the monuments were built according to a master plan based on sophisticated astronomical knowledge, requiring observations and calculations spanning potentially thousands of years. The Sphinx has also been associated with various esoteric traditions and mystery schools throughout history. Ancient texts describe it as a guardian of sacred knowledge, a sentinel watching over the wisdom of lost civilizations. The Greek historian Herodotus wrote of secret chambers beneath the monument, while Roman writers described the Sphinx as an oracle consulted by those seeking hidden knowledge. Modern psychics and alternative researchers claim the Sphinx guards access to records of human history dating back tens of thousands of years, including accounts of advanced civilizations that existed before recorded history. While such claims cannot be scientifically verified, they reflect the enduring sense that the Sphinx holds secrets far more profound than conventional archaeology acknowledges. The riddle of the Sphinx extends beyond questions of construction and purpose to fundamental questions about the nature of human civilization itself. If the monument is indeed far older than traditionally believed, it suggests that sophisticated cultures existed much earlier than we currently accept. It implies that our understanding of human development may be fundamentally flawed, and that cycles of civilization may have risen and fallen repeatedly throughout history. Perhaps most intriguingly, the Sphinx seems to embody the eternal mystery of human consciousness itself. The fusion of human intelligence with animal power, the synthesis of earthly strength with divine wisdom, represents archetypes that appear across cultures and throughout history. The Sphinx stands not just as a monument, but as a symbol of the riddles that define human existence. Stonehenge, the eternal circle. Rising from the Salisbury Plain in southern England, Stonehenge represents one of humanity's most enigmatic achievements. This circular arrangement of massive sarsen stones and smaller bluestones has stood for over 4,000 years. Yet its purpose, construction methods, and the identity of its builders remain among history's greatest mysteries. The monument we see today is the result of multiple construction phases spanning nearly 1,500 years. The earliest phase, dating to around 3100 BCE, consisted of a circular earthwork enclosure with wooden posts. Over the following centuries, the site was repeatedly modified and expanded, with the iconic stone circle taking shape around 2500 BCE during the monument's most intensive construction period. The logistics of Stonehenge's construction present the first layer of mystery. The massive sarsen stones, some weighing up to 50 tons, were somehow transported from the Marlborough Downs, approximately 20 miles to the north. Even more puzzling are the smaller bluestones, which were brought from the Preseli Hills in Wales, a distance of over 150 miles. How did Neolithic peoples, supposedly lacking wheels, draft animals, and sophisticated tools, accomplish such a feat? The precision of the construction is equally baffling. The sarsen stones are carefully shaped and fitted together using mortise and tenon joints, a sophisticated woodworking technique applied to massive stones. The lintels are curved to follow the circle's circumference and are precisely leveled, despite being placed atop irregularly shaped upright stones. This level of planning and execution suggests organizational capabilities and technical knowledge that seem remarkably advanced for the period. But perhaps the greatest mystery of Stonehenge lies in its astronomical alignments. The monument's axis aligns precisely with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice. This alignment is so exact that every year thousands of people gather to witness the sunrise directly over the heel stone on the longest day of the year. However, the astronomical sophistication extends far beyond this basic solar alignment. Recent research has revealed that Stonehenge functions as a complex astronomical calculator, capable of predicting eclipses, tracking the moon's complex 18.6-year cycle, and marking numerous other celestial events significant to Neolithic peoples. The station stones, 4 markers positioned around the monument's perimeter, create sightlines that track the extreme positions of both the sun and moon throughout their cycles. The 56 Aubrey holes, circular pits arranged around the monument's outer edge, may have served as a counting system for predicting lunar eclipses. This level of astronomical knowledge implies observations and record-keeping spanning many generations. Who possessed such sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics 4,000 years ago? How did they maintain and pass on such precise knowledge across generations before the development of writing systems? The implications challenge our assumptions about the intellectual capabilities of Neolithic peoples. The purpose of this astronomical precision remains hotly debated. Some researchers argue that Stonehenge served as a temple where celestial observations were used for religious ceremonies. Others propose it functioned as an ancient calendar, helping farming communities track seasonal changes crucial for agriculture. Still others suggest it was a healing center, where the perceived power of celestial alignments was used for therapeutic purposes. Evidence for the healing theory includes the high number of cremated remains found at the site. Over 60 individuals have been identified, and the discovery that many of these people came from far away, some from as distant as the Mediterranean. The effort required to bring bodies to Stonehenge for burial suggests the site held special significance, possibly as a place of healing or spiritual transformation. The blue stone circle adds another layer to the mystery. These smaller stones, transported from Wales at enormous cost in labor and organization, were clearly of special significance to the builders. Some researchers propose that the blue stones were believed to possess healing properties, similar to beliefs about certain stones in traditional cultures. The fact that people were willing to transport them such vast distances suggests they held immense cultural or spiritual value. Recent discoveries have revealed that Stonehenge was part of a much larger sacred landscape. Ground-penetrating radar has detected hundreds of previously unknown archaeological features surrounding the monument, including burial mounds, ceremonial pathways, and other stone circles. This suggests that Stonehenge was the centerpiece of a vast ritual complex that may have served as a pilgrimage destination for peoples across prehistoric Europe. The social organization required to build and maintain such a complex also raises profound questions. The construction of Stonehenge would have required the cooperation of multiple communities, sophisticated planning, and the ability to mobilize and coordinate thousands of workers over many generations. This implies social structures and leadership capabilities that seem remarkably advanced for supposedly primitive societies. Archaeological evidence suggests that during Stonehenge's construction period, the surrounding area experienced significant population growth and cultural change. New pottery styles, burial practices, and tool technologies appeared, suggesting contact with distant cultures and the exchange of ideas and innovations. Stonehenge may have served as a focal point for cultural interaction and technological transfer across prehistoric Europe. The monument's influence extended far beyond its immediate vicinity. Similar stone circles and henges are found throughout the British Isles, many clearly inspired by or connected to Stonehenge. This suggests the site served as a template or prototype that influenced monument building across a vast region, implying cultural connections and communication networks spanning hundreds of miles. Yet despite decades of intensive study, fundamental questions remain unanswered. We still don't know the specific identity of Stonehenge's builders, though they were clearly part of a sophisticated culture capable of remarkable achievements. We don't fully understand the rituals and ceremonies that took place there, though they clearly involved complex interactions between human communities and celestial cycles. Perhaps most intriguingly, we don't know why Stonehenge was eventually abandoned. Around 1600 BCE, activity at the site declined dramatically, and the monument was left to weather and decay. Why did a culture capable of such remarkable achievements suddenly abandon their greatest creation? What changes in society, environment, or belief systems led to Stonehenge's abandonment? The mystery of Stonehenge forces us to reconsider our assumptions about prehistoric peoples and their capabilities. It suggests that complex societies with sophisticated knowledge systems existed much earlier than traditionally believed, and that the development of human civilization may have followed paths far more complex and advanced than our current models suggest. The Nazca Lines, messages from the sky. In the arid desert of southern Peru, etched across an area spanning more than 200 square miles, lie some of the most mysterious and magnificent artworks ever created by human hands. The Nazca Lines consist of hundreds of geometric designs, animal figures, and straight lines of staggering precision, many of which can only be fully appreciated from the air. Created by the Nazca civilization between 500 BCE and 500 CE, these geoglyphs represent one of archaeology's most perplexing puzzles. The sheer scale of the Nazca Lines defies comprehension. Individual lines can stretch for miles across the desert floor, maintaining perfect straightness despite crossing valleys, hills, and other natural obstacles. The largest figures span nearly 200 feet, while the famous hummingbird measures 310 feet from beak to tail. The monkey figure extends 360 feet, and the spider reaches 150 feet in length. These dimensions mean that the complete forms are invisible from ground level, only becoming apparent when viewed from heights of several hundred feet. This presents the first and most obvious mystery. How did the Nazca people design and create images that they could never see in their entirety? The civilization that created these works had no known flying technology, no tall buildings from which to observe their work, and no apparent means of achieving the aerial perspective necessary to appreciate their creation's full scope and precision. The construction process itself presents additional puzzles. The lines were created by removing the dark, oxidized surface stones to reveal the lighter-colored soil beneath. This technique, while simple in concept, required extraordinary precision and planning to achieve the geometric perfection evident in the finished works. Many lines are perfectly straight for miles, maintaining their direction with an accuracy that rivals modern surveying techniques. The geometric designs demonstrate mathematical sophistication that seems remarkable for their time period. Perfect spirals, rectangles, triangles, and trapezoids cover the desert floor, along with more complex forms that suggest advanced understanding of geometric principles. Some designs incorporate multiple overlapping elements, creating compositions of stunning complexity that could only be planned and executed by individuals with sophisticated spatial reasoning abilities. Recent research using satellite imagery and drone surveys has revealed the true extent of the Nazca Lines phenomenon. Hundreds of previously unknown geoglyphs have been discovered, including humanoid figures, additional animals, and abstract designs of bewildering complexity. The total number of individual elements now approaches 800, making this one of the largest collections of ancient artwork anywhere in the world. The preservation of the lines adds another layer to the mystery. The Nazca Desert is one of the driest places on Earth, receiving less than an inch of rainfall per year. This extreme aridity has preserved the geoglyphs for over 1,500 years, but it also raises questions about why the Nazca people chose to create permanent artworks in such a desolate location. The effort required to create these massive designs would have been enormous, yet they were placed in a region where few people lived or traveled. Theories about the line's purpose are as numerous as they are varied. The most widely accepted academic explanation suggests they served astronomical and calendrical functions. Many lines align with the positions of the sun, moon, and various constellations at specific times of the year. Some researchers propose that the lines functioned as a massive astronomical calendar, helping the Nazca people track seasonal changes crucial for agriculture and religious ceremonies. The animal figures present particular interpretive challenges. The designs include spiders, hummingbirds, monkeys, fish, sharks, orcas, lizards, and various birds, many of which are not native to the immediate desert region. The presence of marine animals like sharks and orcas is especially puzzling, as the Nazca lines are located far inland from the Pacific coast. This suggests that their creators had knowledge of coastal fauna, implying trade relationships or cultural connections extending far beyond their immediate territory. Some of the animal figures correspond to constellations visible in the southern hemisphere sky, supporting astronomical theories about the line's purpose. The spider figure may represent the constellation Orion, while other animals could correspond to additional star patterns significant to Nazca religion and mythology. If correct, this would make the Nazca lines a terrestrial mirror of celestial patterns, similar to theories about other ancient monuments like the Giza pyramid complex. Water-related theories offer another explanation for the line's purpose and placement. The Nazca region, despite its current aridity, was once more fertile and supported a thriving civilization. Some researchers propose that the lines were created as part of water-seeking rituals, with the straight lines pointing toward underground water sources or distant mountains where water originated. The animal figures might represent spirits or deities associated with water and fertility. The engineering precision of the lines continues to baffle researchers. Ground surveys have revealed that many lines maintain their straightness and width across miles of varied terrain, requiring surveying techniques that seem impossibly sophisticated for pre-Columbian peoples. How did the Nazca achieve such precision without modern instruments? Some researchers have proposed that they used simple but effective techniques involving stakes, ropes, and careful observation, but experimental attempts to replicate their achievements have met with limited success. Recent discoveries have revealed that the Nazca lines were not unique to the immediate desert region. Similar geoglyphs have been found throughout Peru and in neighboring countries, suggesting that this form of landscape art was practiced by multiple cultures across South America. However, none match the scale, precision, or preservation of the Nazca examples, making them unique in both scope and sophistication. The mystery deepens when we consider the cultural context of the Nazca civilization. These people were accomplished potters, weavers, and metalworkers, but they left no written records and no clear explanations of their monumental earthworks. Their society apparently possessed the organizational capabilities to coordinate massive public works projects, yet we know remarkably little about their social structure, religious beliefs, or motivations. Alternative theories about the line's purpose range from the plausible to the fantastical. Some researchers propose that they served as ritual pathways or pilgrimage routes, with people walking along the lines as part of religious ceremonies. Others suggest they were territorial markers, defining boundaries between different groups or claiming ownership of land and water resources. More controversial theories propose that the lines were created to communicate with or guide extraterrestrial visitors. Proponents of this theory point to the lines' visibility from great heights and their apparent uselessness from ground level as evidence that they were meant to be seen by flying observers. While lacking scientific support, such theories reflect the genuine puzzlement that the Nazca lines continue to generate. The abandonment of the Nazca lines coincided with the decline of the Nazca civilization around 500 CE, possibly due to climate change, resource depletion, or social upheaval. Whatever caused their creators to disappear, they left behind one of humanity's most enigmatic artistic achievements, a testament to capabilities and motivations that continue to elude our understanding. The Antikythera mechanism, ancient computer. In 1901, sponge divers working off the Greek island of Antikythera made a discovery that would challenge everything historians thought they knew about ancient technology. Among the remains of a Roman shipwreck dating to approximately 50 BCE, they found a corroded bronze device that would later be recognized as the most sophisticated mechanical instrument from the ancient world. a complexity not seen again until the development of astronomical clocks in medieval Europe over 1,000 years later. The Antikythera mechanism, as it came to be known, initially appeared to be nothing more than a lump of corroded bronze and wood. For decades, it remained a curiosity, too fragmented and corroded for proper study. It wasn't until the 1950s that researchers began to appreciate the true significance of their find, and only in recent years has advanced imaging technology revealed the full extent of its sophistication. What they discovered defied belief. The mechanism consists of at least 37 meshing bronze gear wheels, housed in a wooden case approximately the size of a large book. When complete, it would have stood about 13 inches high, 7 inches wide, and 3.5 inches deep. The front face displayed multiple dials showing the positions of the sun, moon, and planets, while the back contained additional dials for tracking lunar cycles and predicting eclipses. But this was no simple timepiece. The Antikythera mechanism was essentially an analog computer, capable of performing complex calculations related to astronomical phenomena. By turning a hand crank, operators could advance or reverse the mechanism to determine the positions of celestial bodies for any date in the past or future. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses decades in advance, track the 4-year cycle of the Olympic Games, and even account for the irregular motion of the moon. The mathematical sophistication embedded in the device is staggering. The gear ratios precisely reproduce the ancient Greek understanding of planetary cycles, incorporating corrections for observed irregularities in celestial motions. The lunar cycle calculations account for the moon's elliptical orbit, demonstrating knowledge of astronomical phenomena not officially discovered until much later periods. Recent analysis has revealed inscriptions covering much of the mechanism's surface, essentially an instruction manual for operating this ancient computer. The text describes various astronomical phenomena and provides guidance for interpreting the device's multiple displays. This suggests that the mechanism was not a unique prototype, but part of a tradition of mechanical astronomy that may have been more widespread than previously imagined. The precision of the mechanism's construction rivals that of 18th century clockwork. The gear teeth are cut with remarkable accuracy, and the ratios between different gear trains demonstrate sophisticated understanding of both astronomy and mechanical engineering. Creating such a device would have required not only advanced mathematical knowledge, but also exceptional skill in metalworking and precision manufacturing. Who created this remarkable device? The style of Greek lettering and astronomical parameters suggest it was built in the Greek world, possibly in Rhodes, during the late 2nd or early 1st century BCE. This was the Hellenistic period, when Greek science and technology reached remarkable heights under the influence of scholars like Archimedes, Apollonius, and Hipparchus. Indeed, the mechanism may be directly connected to the tradition of Archimedes, the famous mathematician and inventor. Ancient sources describe mechanical devices created by Archimedes that could reproduce the motions of the heavens, and Cicero specifically mentions such a device captured from Syracuse. The Antikythera mechanism could represent either Archimedes' work directly or the continuation of his technological tradition. The implications of the mechanism's existence are profound. It demonstrates that ancient Greek civilization possessed technological capabilities far more advanced than previously believed. The device represents a level of mechanical sophistication not matched until the development of clockwork technology in medieval Europe, suggesting that an entire tradition of precision mechanical engineering existed in the ancient world, but was subsequently lost. How was such sophisticated knowledge lost? The decline of ancient learning during the collapse of the Roman Empire certainly contributed, but the mechanism suggests that advanced technical traditions may have disappeared even earlier. The device found in the Antikythera wreck may represent the end of a technological tradition rather than its beginning, implying that even more sophisticated devices may have existed but failed to survive. The mechanism also raises questions about the relationship between theoretical knowledge and practical application in the ancient world. While we know that Greek astronomers possessed sophisticated mathematical models of planetary motion, The Antikythera mechanism demonstrates that they were also capable of translating this theoretical knowledge into working mechanical devices. This suggests a level of integration between science and technology that historians had not previously recognized. Recent research has identified fragments of similar devices from other archaeological contexts, suggesting that the Antikythera mechanism was not unique. References in ancient literature describe other mechanical, astronomical devices, and fragments found in France and Egypt may represent additional examples of this lost technology. This raises the possibility that mechanical computation was more widespread in the ancient world than the single surviving example initially suggested. The preservation of the Antikythera mechanism was purely accidental. Had the ship carrying it not sunk, the device would likely have been lost to corrosion or recycling like countless other ancient bronze objects. This raises the troubling possibility that many other examples of advanced ancient technology may have existed but simply failed to survive to the present day. The mechanism also challenges our understanding of technological development as a linear process. Rather than steady progress from simple to complex, the Antikythera device suggests that technological capabilities can be lost as well as gained, and that ancient peoples may have achieved sophistication in certain areas that was subsequently forgotten and had to be rediscovered centuries or millennia later. Modern reconstructions of the mechanism have revealed additional layers of complexity still being deciphered. The device appears to have been capable of modeling not just the primary motions of celestial bodies, but also subtle variations and irregularities observed by ancient astronomers. This level of detail suggests that the mechanism incorporated decades or centuries of careful astronomical observation, representing a collaboration between multiple generations of scholars and craftsmen. The Antikythera mechanism stands as perhaps the most concrete evidence we possess that ancient civilizations achieved technological sophistication far beyond what traditional historical models suggest. It forces us to reconsider not only the capabilities of ancient peoples, but also the nature of technological progress itself. In doing so, it opens the possibility that other, equally remarkable achievements may have existed in the ancient world, waiting to be discovered or recognized among artifacts we have not yet properly understood. The Pyramids of the World, a global mystery. While the Great Pyramid of Giza captures most attention, it represents just one example of a global phenomenon that spans continents and millennia. From the Americas to Asia, from Europe to Africa, ancient civilizations independently developed the technology and motivation to build massive pyramidal structures. The similarity of these monuments across cultures that supposedly had no contact with each other presents one of archaeology's most intriguing puzzles. The pyramid-building tradition appears to have emerged simultaneously in different parts of the world during roughly the same historical period. While Egyptian pyramids are the most famous, comparable structures were being constructed in Mesopotamia, China, India, Southeast Asia, and the Americas. The fact that isolated civilizations independently chose similar architectural forms suggests either an underlying human psychological tendency toward pyramidal construction or, more controversially, some form of cultural contact or shared origin. In the Americas, the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan rivals the Great Pyramid in size and complexity. Built around 100 CE, this massive structure measures 738 feet square at its base and rises to a height of 246 feet. Like its Egyptian counterparts, it demonstrates remarkable precision in construction and astronomical alignment. The entire Teotihuacan complex appears to have been laid out according to astronomical principles, with the Pyramid of the Sun aligned to mark the passage of the Pleiades constellation. The Maya civilization of Central America constructed hundreds of pyramidal structures, many of which demonstrate astronomical knowledge comparable to that found in Egyptian monuments. The Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, built around 1000 CE, functions as a massive calendar with 365 steps representing the days of the year. During the spring and autumn equinoxes, the interplay of light and shadow creates the appearance of a serpent descending the pyramid's stairs, an effect that required precise calculation and planning to achieve. Even more mysterious are the pyramids found in remote locations, with no apparent connection to major civilizations. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, discovered in 2005, has generated intense controversy. Proponents argue that this 7-20-foot-high hill is actually a human-made pyramid dating to around 12,000 years ago, making it far older and larger than the Egyptian pyramids. While mainstream archaeology disputes these claims, the site continues to yield anomalous findings that challenge conventional explanations. In China, the ancient city of Xi'an is surrounded by dozens of pyramidal mounds, many of which remain unexcavated. The largest, known as the White Pyramid, reportedly rivals the Great Pyramid of Giza in size. Chinese authorities have been reluctant to permit extensive archaeological investigation of these sites, leading to speculation about what they might contain and why they remain unstudied. The Indonesian site of Gunung Padang presents another controversial case. Proponents argue that this terraced hillside represents a massive pyramid complex, dating to 20,000 years ago or earlier, making it potentially the oldest pyramidal structure on Earth. While orthodox archaeology disputes these claims, ground-penetrating radar and other surveys have revealed sophisticated internal chambers and passages that seem inconsistent with natural geological formation. The engineering challenges faced by pyramid builders worldwide were remarkably similar, regardless of their geographical separation. All required solutions for quarrying, transporting, and positioning massive stone blocks. All needed methods for achieving precise astronomical alignments. All demanded organizational systems capable of coordinating thousands of workers over extended periods. The fact that isolated civilizations developed similar solutions to these challenges suggests either remarkable convergent evolution or some form of shared knowledge. The astronomical alignments found in pyramids worldwide show striking similarities. Many align with cardinal directions, solstices, equinoxes, and specific star systems. The global nature of these alignments suggests that ancient pyramid builders possessed sophisticated astronomical knowledge and considered celestial observation a crucial function of their monuments. This raises questions about how such knowledge was developed and maintained across different cultures. The construction techniques employed in pyramid building also show remarkable similarities across cultures. Precision-cut stone blocks, sophisticated joinery methods, and complex internal passage systems appear in pyramids from Egypt to Peru to Cambodia. These similarities are particularly striking given the supposed lack of contact between these civilizations. Either pyramid building techniques were independently invented multiple times, or there was some form of cultural transmission that mainstream archaeology has not recognized. The dating of pyramids worldwide presents additional mysteries. While conventional archaeology places most pyramid construction within the last 5,000 years, alternative researchers argue for much earlier dates based on geological, astronomical, and other evidence. If some pyramids are indeed far older than currently believed, this would require fundamental revisions to our understanding of human civilization and technological development. Recent discoveries continue to reveal new pyramid sites and challenge existing assumptions. Ground-penetrating radar, satellite imagery, and other advanced technologies are identifying previously unknown pyramidal structures in locations around the world. Many of these sites remain uninvestigated, holding secrets that could dramatically alter our understanding of ancient capabilities and global connections. The purpose of pyramids also shows remarkable consistency across cultures. Most appear to have served multiple functions: astronomical observatories, religious centers, burial sites, and symbols of political power. This multifunctional approach suggests that pyramid builders understood these structures as integrated systems serving various social, spiritual, and practical needs. Perhaps most intriguingly, many pyramid sites show evidence of much earlier occupation and construction phases. Egyptian pyramids are built atop older structures. Mesoamerican pyramids often contain earlier pyramids within their cores. This pattern suggests that pyramid building may represent the continuation or renewal of even more ancient traditions, raising questions about the ultimate origins of this architectural form. The global distribution of pyramids forces us to confront fundamental questions about ancient human capabilities and cultural connections. Either multiple civilizations independently developed the technology, organization, and motivation to build these massive structures, or there were cultural connections and knowledge transmission systems that conventional archaeology has not recognized. Either possibility has profound implications for our understanding of human history and the development of civilization itself. Atlantis and lost civilizations, echoes of forgotten worlds. No discussion of ancient mysteries would be complete without addressing the enigma of lost civilizations, most famously represented by Plato's account of Atlantis. While often dismissed as philosophical allegory, the persistence of flood myths and stories of advanced ancient civilizations across cultures worldwide suggests that these tales may preserve fragments of genuine historical memory. Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, written around 360 BCE, provide the only detailed ancient account of Atlantis. According to Plato, this advanced civilization existed 9,000 years before his time, placing it around 9600 BCE. Atlantis was described as a naval power that controlled territory across the Mediterranean and Atlantic, possessing advanced technology and unprecedented wealth before being destroyed in a single day and night by earthquakes and floods. The specificity of Plato's account has intrigued researchers for centuries. He describes Atlantis as located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, modern Strait of Gibraltar, in the Atlantic Ocean. The civilization supposedly possessed advanced metallurgy, sophisticated architecture, complex irrigation systems, and naval technology superior to anything known in Plato's time. Most intriguingly, Plato claimed his account was based on historical records preserved in Egyptian temples, suggesting that some memory of this civilization survived into historical times. Critics argue that Atlantis was purely Plato's invention, created as a philosophical device to illustrate points about ideal societies and political systems. They point out that no other ancient source mentions Atlantis, and that Plato was known to create fictional scenarios to illustrate philosophical concepts. However, supporters note that Plato consistently claimed the account was historically accurate, unlike his clearly fictional works, and that he provided specific details that seem unnecessarily elaborate for a simple allegory. The Atlantis account gains credibility when considered alongside similar stories from cultures worldwide. The Sumerian Epic of Gilgamesh describes a great flood that destroyed advanced civilizations. Hindu texts describe advanced cities destroyed by catastrophic floods and earthquakes. Native American traditions speak of sophisticated civilizations that vanished beneath rising waters. The consistency of these accounts across isolated cultures suggests they may preserve memories of actual historical events. Geological evidence supports the possibility that such catastrophic events occurred during the timeframe suggested by these myths. The end of the last ice age, around 10,000 years ago, involved massive environmental changes, including rapid sea level rise, catastrophic flooding, and climate shifts that could have destroyed coastal civilizations. The Younger Dryas period, a sudden return to ice age conditions lasting over 1,000 years, would have been particularly devastating to human societies. Recent underwater archaeology has revealed submerged structures that may represent remnants of pre-flood civilizations. Off the coast of India, Japan, and the Mediterranean, researchers have discovered what appear to be artificial structures now lying beneath hundreds of feet of water. While some of these may be natural formations, others show characteristics consistent with human construction, including right angles, regular patterns, and apparent architectural planning. The Yonaguni monument off the coast of Japan presents perhaps the most compelling case for a submerged ancient structure. This massive underwater formation includes what appear to be steps, terraces, and architectural details that seem inconsistent with natural rock formation. If artificial, the monument would have been constructed when sea levels were much lower, potentially over 10,000 years ago. While geologists debate whether the formation is natural or artificial, its complexity and apparent organization continue to generate intense interest. Similar underwater structures have been reported from locations around the world. Off the coast of Cuba, sonar surveys have detected what appear to be large stone structures arranged in geometric patterns on the ocean floor. Near the coast of India, satellite imagery has revealed submerged formations that some researchers interpret as the remains of ancient cities. While many of these claims remain controversial, they collectively suggest that significant archaeological sites may lie beneath the world's oceans, waiting to be properly investigated. The concept of lost civilizations extends beyond Atlantis to encompass various proposed advanced cultures predating recorded history. The civilization of Lemuria or Mu, supposedly located in the Pacific Ocean, has been proposed to explain similarities between cultures separated by vast oceanic distances. While lacking the detailed ancient testimony that supports Atlantis, Pacific traditions of sunken lands and lost civilizations provide intriguing parallels to Atlantic-based stories. Advanced ancient civilizations might also explain certain anomalous archaeological findings that seem inconsistent with conventional timelines of human development. Sophisticated artifacts found in contexts much older than expected have led some researchers to propose that human civilization has experienced multiple cycles of rise and decline with advanced societies, periodically emerging and then disappearing due to natural catastrophes or other factors. The Göbekli Tepe site in Turkey, dating to around 9500 BCE, demonstrates that sophisticated monumental architecture existed much earlier than previously believed. This complex of massive stone pillars arranged in circles and decorated with elaborate carvings required organizational capabilities and artistic sophistication that challenge assumptions about hunter-gatherer societies. If such complexity was possible 11,500 years ago, what other achievements might have been accomplished by peoples of that era? The mystery deepens when we consider that Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE, preserved beneath tons of soil and debris. Who would undertake such a massive effort to conceal a monument, and why? The deliberate burial suggests that the site's builders possessed motivations and concerns that we cannot currently understand, possibly including the desire to preserve their achievements for future discovery. Megalithic sites worldwide demonstrate construction capabilities that seem remarkably advanced for their supposed time periods. From the precisely fitted stones of Sacsayhuaman in Peru to the massive trilithons of Stonehenge, ancient builders achieved precision and scale that challenge our understanding of their capabilities. These achievements suggest that sophisticated engineering knowledge existed much earlier than conventional archaeology acknowledges. The transmission of complex knowledge across vast distances and time periods also suggests the existence of advanced ancient civilizations. Mathematical concepts, astronomical observations, and architectural techniques appear in widely separated cultures with such consistency that independent development seems unlikely. This implies either direct cultural contact or inheritance from common advanced sources. Mythological traditions worldwide preserve accounts of ages when humans possessed greater knowledge and capabilities than currently exist. These Golden Age narratives describe periods when humanity had access to advanced technology, profound wisdom, and direct communication with divine beings. While often interpreted as purely mythological, these consistent themes across cultures may preserve memories of actual historical periods when human civilization achieved greater heights than currently recognized. The search for lost civilizations continues through advancing technology and expanding archaeological investigation. Satellite imagery reveals previously unknown archaeological sites. Ground-penetrating radar detects buried structures, and underwater exploration systems make ocean floor investigation increasingly feasible. Each new technology brings the possibility of discoveries that could validate ancient accounts of advanced civilizations. Perhaps most importantly, the question of lost civilizations forces us to confront fundamental assumptions about human development and the nature of progress. If advanced civilizations did exist in the distant past, it suggests that human development is not necessarily linear, and that knowledge and capabilities can be lost as well as gained. This perspective has profound implications for understanding both our past and our future, reminding us that the achievements of civilization are not permanent and must be actively preserved and transmitted. The megalithic mysteries. Stones of wonder. Across the globe, from the windswept islands of Scotland to the sun-baked plains of Africa, ancient peoples erected massive stone monuments that continue to defy explanation. These megalithic structures, built from stones weighing hundreds or even thousands of tons, demonstrate engineering capabilities that seem almost impossible given the tools and techniques available to their builders. The precision of their construction, the sophistication of their astronomical alignments, and the sheer scale of their ambition raise profound questions about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. The term megalithic literally means large stone, but this simple definition hardly captures the complexity and mystery of these ancient achievements. From the towering menhirs of Brittany to the precise stone circles of the British Isles, from the elaborate passage tombs of Ireland to the mysterious stone heads of Easter Island megalithic monuments represent some of humanity's most ambitious and enigmatic architectural endeavors. The Carnac stones in Brittany, France, present perhaps the most extensive megalithic complex in the world. Over 3,000 standing stones, some reaching heights of 20 feet, are arranged in precise alignments stretching for miles across the countryside. These monuments date to between 4500 and 3300 BCE, making them older than Stonehenge and contemporary with the earliest Egyptian pyramids. Yet despite centuries of study, their purpose remains utterly mysterious. The precision of the Carnac alignments is remarkable. The stones are arranged in perfectly straight rows that maintain their orientation across varied terrain for distances of over a mile. This level of precision would be challenging to achieve even with modern surveying equipment, yet somehow Neolithic peoples accomplished this feat using only the tools available 6,000 years ago. The effort required to quarry, transport, and erect these thousands of massive stones suggests a level of social organization and long-term planning that seems remarkably sophisticated for the period. Various theories attempt to explain the Carnac stone's purpose. Some researchers propose astronomical functions, noting that certain alignments correspond to lunar and solar positions at significant times of the year. Others suggest the stones served as territorial markers or sacred pathways for religious processions. Still others propose that they functioned as a massive ancient computer, with the stone positions encoding complex mathematical or astronomical information. The Ring of Brodgar in Scotland's Orkney Islands presents another megalithic mystery. This nearly perfect stone circle, originally comprising 60 standing stones arranged around a circumference of over 1,000 feet, demonstrates both mathematical sophistication and enormous labor investment. The stones were quarried from sites miles away and transported across difficult terrain to create this monument around 2500 BCE. What makes the Ring of Brodgar particularly intriguing is its integration into a larger sacred landscape. The monument is surrounded by burial mounds, standing stones, and other megalithic structures, creating a complex ceremonial environment that spans several square miles. This suggests that Neolithic peoples conceived and executed landscape-scale architectural projects requiring coordination and planning across multiple generations. The passage tombs of the Boyne Valley in Ireland add another dimension to megalithic mysteries. Newgrange, built around 3200 BCE, is older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramid of Giza. This massive mound, measuring 280 feet in diameter and 40 feet high, contains a precisely constructed passage leading to a central chamber. The entire structure demonstrates sophisticated understanding of engineering principles, including corbelled roofing that has remained watertight for over 5,000 years. But Newgrange's most remarkable feature is its astronomical alignment. Once a year, on the winter solstice, sunlight penetrates through a specially constructed roof box above the entrance and illuminates the central chamber for exactly 17 minutes. This effect requires precise calculation and construction, demonstrating that the monument's builders possessed sophisticated astronomical knowledge and were capable of implementing it with remarkable accuracy. The Easter Island Moai present perhaps the most famous megalithic mystery. These nearly 1,000 massive stone statues, ranging from 6 to 33 feet in height and weighing up to 80 tons, were carved from volcanic rock and somehow transported across the island to their final positions. The precision of the carving, achieved using only stone tools, demonstrates remarkable artistic and technical skill. Recent research has revealed that the moai were not simply heads, as commonly believed, but full-body statues, whose lower portions have been buried by centuries of soil accumulation. Archaeological excavation has uncovered these buried portions, revealing intricate details including carved hands and torsos, along with petroglyphs and other decorative elements. This discovery has dramatically expanded our understanding of Easter Island's artistic achievements. The transportation of the moai across Easter Island remains one of archaeology's great puzzles. Traditional theories propose that the statues were rolled on wooden logs or dragged on wooden sleds, but experimental attempts to replicate these methods have met with limited success. Recent experiments suggest that the statues might have been walked upright using ropes, but this technique would require unprecedented coordination and skill to move objects weighing tens of tons across miles of difficult terrain. The megalithic builders' quarrying and stoneworking techniques present additional mysteries. Many megalithic sites feature stones that have been shaped with incredible precision, including perfectly flat surfaces, precise angles, and intricate decorative details. These achievements were accomplished using only stone and bronze tools, yet the quality of workmanship rivals that achieved with modern diamond-tipped tools and precision machinery. The Gantija temples in Malta, dating to around 3600 BCE, demonstrate megalithic construction techniques of extraordinary sophistication. These temple complexes, built from limestone blocks weighing up to 50 tons, feature curved walls, decorative elements, and architectural details that required advanced planning and execution. The temple's acoustic properties suggest they may have been designed with sound in mind, possibly for musical or ceremonial purposes. Perhaps most puzzling is the global distribution of megalithic monuments. Similar construction techniques, astronomical alignments, and architectural forms appear in widely separated locations, with no apparent cultural contact. From the stone circles of Britain to the megalithic structures of Korea, from the passage tombs of Ireland to the temple complexes of Malta, ancient peoples independently developed remarkably similar approaches to monumental stone construction. This global similarity in megalithic traditions suggests either an underlying human tendency towards such construction or some form of cultural transmission that mainstream archaeology has not recognized. The consistency of astronomical alignments, construction techniques, and even decorative motifs across continents and millennia implies shared knowledge or common origins that challenge conventional understanding of ancient cultural development. The effort required to create megalithic monuments also raises questions about ancient social organization. These projects required not only skilled craftsmen and engineers, but also the ability to mobilize and coordinate thousands of workers over extended periods. The social systems capable of organizing such efforts must have been far more sophisticated than traditionally assumed for prehistoric societies. Recent archaeological discoveries continue to reveal new megalithic sites and expand our understanding of ancient construction capabilities. Ground-penetrating radar, aerial photography, and other advanced techniques are identifying previously unknown monuments and revealing hidden features of known sites. Each new discovery adds to the growing body of evidence that ancient peoples possessed capabilities far exceeding what conventional archaeology previously acknowledged. The megalithic builders left behind no written records explaining their motivations, techniques, or purposes. Their monuments stand as silent testaments to human ambition and capability, challenging us to expand our understanding of what ancient peoples could achieve. In their precision, scale, and sophistication, these stone monuments continue to inspire wonder and demand explanations that our current knowledge cannot provide. Ancient maps and impossible knowledge. Among the most intriguing evidence for advanced ancient knowledge are historical maps that appear to contain information unavailable to their supposed creators. These cartographic anomalies suggest that ancient and medieval geographers possessed knowledge of world geography, including details about continents, coastlines, and geographical features that were not officially discovered until centuries later. The implications challenge our understanding of ancient exploration, knowledge transmission, and possibly the very timeline of human discovery. The most famous of these enigmatic maps is the Piri Reis map of 1513, created by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis. This partial world map shows remarkable accuracy in depicting the coastlines of South America and Africa, but its most controversial feature is what appears to be the northern coastline of Antarctica. The map shows this Antarctic coastline with considerable detail and accuracy, despite the fact that Antarctica was not officially discovered until 1820, over 300 years after the map was created. Even more puzzling, the Antarctic coastline depicted on the Piri Reis map appears to show the continent as it would look without its ice cover. Modern geological surveys have confirmed that the map's depiction closely matches the actual shape of the Antarctic landmass beneath its ice sheet. This presents a seemingly impossible situation. How could a 16th century mapmaker accurately depict the ice-free coastline of a continent that would not be discovered for another 3 centuries? Piri Reis himself claimed that his map was compiled from multiple earlier sources, including maps dating from the time of Alexander the Great and others possessed by Christopher Columbus. If true, this suggests that knowledge of world geography, including Antarctica, existed in ancient times, but was subsequently lost to mainstream European scholarship. The admiral's notes on the map indicate he was working from much older sources, some of which he claimed were based on mathematical calculations rather than direct exploration. The controversy surrounding the Piri Reis map intensified in the 1960s when Professor Charles Hapgood subjected it to detailed analysis. Hapgood argued that the map's accuracy could only be explained if its ultimate sources had access to aerial or satellite-like views of the Earth. He proposed that an advanced ancient civilization possessed sophisticated mapping capabilities that were later inherited by various cultures but gradually degraded over time. Other historical maps present similar anomalies. The Oronteus Phineus map of 1532 also appears to show Antarctica, depicting it as an ice-free continent with accurate geographical details, including mountain ranges and rivers. The map shows the continent positioned correctly at the South Pole and with proportions that closely match the actual landmass beneath the ice. Like the Piri Reis map, it predates the official discovery of Antarctica by nearly 3 centuries. The Mercator map of 1569 includes details about Arctic geography that were not officially known at the time of its creation. The map accurately depicts geographical features of the far north, including what appears to be the correct relationship between Siberia and Alaska across the Bering Strait. These details would not be confirmed by European explorers until the 18th century, yet they appear on a map created 200 years earlier. Medieval maps present additional puzzles. The Dulcert-Portolan chart of 1339 shows remarkable accuracy in depicting Mediterranean and Atlantic coastlines, achieving a level of precision that should have been impossible without accurate methods of determining longitude. The problem is that reliable longitude calculation was not achieved until the 18th century with the development of accurate marine chronometers. How did 14th century mapmakers achieve such precision in their geographical depictions? The Vinland map, supposedly dating to around 1440, purports to show Norse knowledge of North America, including accurate depictions of Greenland and what appears to be the northeastern coast of North America. While the map's authenticity is disputed, radiocarbon dating of the parchment suggests it is genuinely medieval. If authentic, it would provide evidence that European knowledge of American geography existed decades before Columbus's voyages. Ancient Chinese maps present their own mysteries. The Kangnido map of 1402 shows remarkably accurate depictions of Korea, China, and Japan, but also includes what appears to be accurate knowledge of African geography, including the correct shape of the African continent and the location of the Cape of Good Hope. This African geographical knowledge predates Portuguese exploration of the African coast by several decades. The mystery deepens when we consider that many of these maps claim to be based on even older sources. Medieval and Renaissance cartographers frequently noted that their maps were compiled from ancient texts and earlier maps, some supposedly dating to classical antiquity. This suggests that accurate world geographical knowledge may have existed in ancient times, but was preserved only in fragmentary form through various manuscript traditions. Supporters of ancient advanced knowledge propose several possible explanations for these cartographic anomalies. Some argue that ancient civilizations possessed advanced navigation and exploration capabilities, allowing them to create accurate world maps through extensive sea voyages. Others propose that ancient peoples had access to aerial observation capabilities, possibly through advanced technology or even flight. More controversial theories suggest that the maps preserve knowledge from a lost global civilization that existed before recorded history. According to this view, an advanced culture with worldwide exploration capabilities created accurate maps of the entire Earth, and fragments of this knowledge survived in various manuscript traditions that were later incorporated into medieval and Renaissance maps. Skeptics argue that the apparent anomalies in historical maps can be explained through conventional means. They propose that the Antarctic coastlines, depicted on early maps, actually represent Terra Australis, a hypothetical southern continent that geographers believed must exist to balance the land masses of the northern hemisphere. According to this view, the apparent accuracy of these depictions is coincidental rather than evidence of genuine geographical knowledge. However, this explanation struggles to account for the specific accuracy of many map details. The Antarctic coastlines shown on the Piri Reis and Orontes Phineas maps correspond closely not just to the general shape of Antarctica, but to specific geographical features that would be very difficult to guess accurately. The level of detail suggests access to genuine geographical information rather than theoretical speculation. Recent analysis using computer modeling and satellite imagery has confirmed the accuracy of many disputed map features. When historical maps are subjected to rigorous mathematical analysis, adjusting for the projection methods and mathematical techniques available to their creators, many prove to be remarkably accurate in their depictions of geographical features that should have been unknown at the time of their creation. The question of how ancient map makers achieved such accuracy remains unresolved. If they possessed advanced exploration and navigation capabilities, why did this knowledge disappear? If they had access to aerial observation, what technology made this possible? If they inherited knowledge from earlier civilizations, who were these predecessors, and what happened to them? The mystery of ancient maps forces us to confront fundamental questions about the development of human knowledge and the preservation of information across historical periods. These cartographic anomalies suggest that the history of geographical discovery may be far more complex than traditional accounts acknowledge, and that knowledge of world geography may have existed much earlier than conventional history recognizes. The mystery of ancient flight, wings of the past. Among the most controversial aspects of ancient mystery research are claims that human flight existed long before the Wright brothers' historic achievement in 1903. While mainstream archaeology firmly rejects such possibilities, a growing body of anomalous evidence suggests that ancient peoples may have possessed knowledge of aerodynamics and possibly even practical flight capabilities. From mysterious artifacts that resemble aircraft to ancient texts describing flying vehicles, the question of ancient flight continues to generate intense debate and investigation. The most famous pieces of evidence for ancient flight are the so-called airplane artifacts found in pre-Columbian South American cultures. These small gold objects, discovered in various archaeological contexts throughout Colombia, Venezuela, and other South American countries, bear striking resemblances to modern aircraft. The artifacts feature streamlined bodies, triangular wings, vertical tail fins, and other aerodynamic features that seem remarkably similar to modern airplane designs. Initially classified as depictions of birds or insects, these artifacts have been re-examined by aeronautical engineers who note their distinctly non-biological characteristics. Unlike birds, the artifacts lack legs, beaks, or other organic features. Instead, they display geometric shapes and proportional relationships that correspond closely to functional aircraft designs. Some feature what appear to be cockpits, landing gear, and other mechanical elements inconsistent with natural forms. Scale model tests of these artifacts have produced intriguing results. When constructed as radio-controlled aircraft, several of the designs have proven capable of stable flight, suggesting that their creators understood principles of aerodynamics. The proportions and angles of the wings, the positioning of control surfaces, and the overall design configurations demonstrate sophisticated understanding of flight dynamics that seems remarkable for ancient cultures. Ancient Indian texts present perhaps the most detailed accounts of flying vehicles in historical literature. The Sanskrit epics, including the Ramayana and Mahabharata, contain extensive descriptions of aircraft called vimanas that could fly through the air, travel great distances, and even engage in aerial combat. These descriptions include technical details about construction, operation, and capabilities that seem remarkably sophisticated for purely mythological accounts. The Vaimanika Shastra, a Sanskrit text supposedly dating to ancient times, but first published in the early 20th century, provides detailed technical specifications for constructing and operating various types of aircraft. The text describes different classes of vimanas, their power sources, navigation systems, and even weapons capabilities. While the text's authenticity and age are disputed, its technical content demonstrates remarkable consistency with aeronautical principles. Other ancient cultures also preserved accounts of human flight. Greek mythology includes numerous stories of flight, from Icarus and his wax wings to the winged sandals of Hermes. While often dismissed as pure fantasy, some researchers argue that these myths may preserve distorted memories of actual flight capabilities. The consistency of flight themes across many ancient cultures suggests either a universal human dream of flight or possible historical basis for such abilities. Egyptian art occasionally depicts figures that appear to be flying or floating in ways that seem inconsistent with conventional artistic conventions. Some tomb paintings show people in horizontal positions that suggest flight rather than falling or jumping. While these images are typically interpreted symbolically, their unusual characteristics have led some researchers to propose they may depict actual flight capabilities. The Nazca lines in Peru present indirect evidence for ancient flight capabilities. These massive geoglyphs are fully visible only from aerial perspectives, leading some researchers to propose that their creators possessed flight capabilities necessary to design and verify their artwork. While alternative explanations exist for how these designs could have been created without flight, the aerial perspective required for their full appreciation remains puzzling. Ancient architectural achievements also raise questions about possible flight capabilities. The precise placement of massive stones at great heights in various megalithic sites would have been significantly easier with aerial capabilities for observation and positioning. While conventional explanations exist for these achievements, flight capabilities would have provided elegant solutions to many of the engineering challenges faced by ancient builders. Recent archaeological discoveries have added new dimensions to the ancient flight debate. Artifacts resembling model aircraft have been found in Egyptian tombs, Central American sites, and other archaeological contexts. While many of these are disputed or reinterpreted as depictions of birds or religious symbols, their consistent appearance across different cultures and time periods suggests some underlying significance. The technology required for ancient flight remains highly speculative. Conventional aircraft require advanced metallurgy, precision manufacturing, and sophisticated understanding of aerodynamics, capabilities that seem beyond ancient civilizations. However, alternative flight technologies, including lighter-than-air vehicles or unconventional propulsion methods, might have been achievable with ancient knowledge and materials. Hot air balloons represent one possibility for ancient flight that would have been technically feasible. The Chinese were experimenting with hot air-filled devices by the 3rd century CE, and similar principles could have been discovered much earlier. Large balloons constructed from available materials could have provided aerial observation capabilities sufficient for astronomical observation, geographical surveying, or artistic design verification. More exotic propulsion theories propose that ancient peoples discovered energy sources or physical principles not recognized by modern science. These might include acoustic levitation, electromagnetic effects, or other phenomena that could provide lift without conventional aircraft technology. While such theories lack scientific support, They attempt to explain apparent flight capabilities within frameworks that would have been accessible to ancient knowledge. The psychological and cultural implications of ancient flight extend beyond technical questions. Flight has always represented transcendence, spiritual elevation, and escape from earthly limitations in human consciousness. If ancient peoples possessed actual flight capabilities, this would have profoundly influenced their worldviews, religious beliefs, and social structures in ways that might still be detectable in their cultural remains. Modern attempts to replicate possible ancient flight technologies have yielded mixed results. Reconstructions based on ancient descriptions or artifact designs have occasionally achieved limited success, suggesting that some form of flight might have been possible with ancient knowledge and materials. However, none have demonstrated the capabilities described in ancient texts, leaving the question of practical ancient flight unresolved. The debate over ancient flight ultimately reflects broader questions about the nature of technological progress and the preservation of knowledge. If humans achieved flight in ancient times, why was this capability lost? What social, environmental, or cultural factors could have led to the abandonment of such a revolutionary technology? The answers to these questions remain as elusive as the evidence for ancient flight itself. As we reach the end of our journey through the world's greatest ancient mysteries, we find ourselves confronting a profound paradox. The more we study these enigmatic remnants of the past, the more mysterious they become. Each new discovery, each advanced analytical technique, each fresh perspective seems to deepen rather than resolve the fundamental questions that have puzzled humanity for millennia. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as magnificent today as it did 4,500 years ago, its construction methods still debated, its true purpose still unknown. The Sphinx continues its eternal vigil, possibly guarding secrets far older than we have imagined. Stonehenge marks the passage of celestial bodies with precision that rivals modern observatories, yet its builders remain anonymous and their motivations obscure. The Nazca lines stretch across the Peruvian desert, visible fully only from heights that their creators supposedly could never achieve. These monuments and artifacts force us to confront uncomfortable questions about our understanding of human history and capability. They suggest that our ancestors possessed knowledge, skills, and organizational abilities that we have systematically underestimated. They imply that the development of human civilization may have been far more complex, sophisticated, and cyclical than our current models acknowledge. The patterns that emerge from studying these mysteries are as intriguing as the individual puzzles themselves. Across continents and millennia, ancient peoples demonstrated remarkable consistency in their astronomical knowledge, construction capabilities, and architectural ambitions. They aligned monuments with celestial events, transported massive stones across vast distances, and created artwork on scales that challenge our understanding of their technological capabilities. Perhaps most significantly, these ancient achievements were not isolated accidents or anomalies. They represent sustained cultural projects requiring generations of dedicated effort, sophisticated planning, and the transmission of complex knowledge across time. This implies social systems and educational traditions far more advanced than we typically associate with ancient peoples. The global nature of these mysteries also raises profound questions about ancient cultural connections. The similarities between pyramids in Egypt and the Americas, between megalithic sites in Europe and Asia, between astronomical alignments worldwide, suggest either remarkable convergent development or cultural transmission systems that conventional archaeology has not recognized. If these similarities reflect genuine cultural contact, they imply exploration and communication networks spanning the globe, thousands of years before such capabilities were supposed to exist. If they represent independent development, they suggest that human beings possess innate tendencies towards certain forms of monumental architecture and astronomical observation that transcend cultural boundaries. The advanced knowledge demonstrated in artifacts like the Antikythera mechanism forces us to reconsider the relationship between theoretical understanding and practical application in ancient times. This device proves that ancient peoples could not only develop sophisticated mathematical models of celestial mechanics, but could also translate this knowledge into working mechanical computers. Such integration of science and technology suggests intellectual traditions far more advanced than previously recognized. The mystery of ancient maps with impossible knowledge challenges our understanding of geographical discovery and knowledge preservation. If these maps genuinely contain information unavailable to their supposed creators, they imply either advanced ancient exploration capabilities or the survival of knowledge from much earlier periods. Either possibility has profound implications for our understanding of human achievement and knowledge transmission. The question of lost civilizations, most famously represented by Atlantis, remains one of the most controversial aspects of ancient mystery research. While hard evidence remains elusive, the consistency of flood myths and accounts of advanced ancient cultures across widely separated societies suggests that these stories may preserve memories of actual historical events. The dramatic environmental changes at the end of the last ice age certainly provided circumstances under which advanced coastal civilizations could have been destroyed and forgotten. Recent archaeological discoveries continue to push back our understanding of human achievement. Sites like Göbekli Tepe demonstrate that sophisticated monumental architecture existed much earlier than previously believed, while underwater archaeology reveals structures that may represent the remains of civilizations destroyed by rising sea levels. Each new discovery forces us to revise our timelines and expand our conception of ancient capabilities. The implications of these mysteries extend far beyond academic archaeology or historical curiosity. They challenge fundamental assumptions about human development, technological progress, and the nature of civilization itself. If advanced knowledge and capabilities existed in ancient times and were subsequently lost, it suggests that human progress is not necessarily linear or permanent. This perspective has profound implications for understanding both our past achievements and our future potential. The study of ancient mysteries also reveals the limitations of our current knowledge and methods. Despite all our modern technology and analytical capabilities, we remain unable to definitively explain how ancient peoples achieved their most remarkable feats. This humbling realization reminds us that there are still profound secrets waiting to be discovered, still fundamental questions about human history that remain unanswered. Perhaps most importantly, these mysteries serve as bridges between past and future, connecting us to ancestors whose achievements continue to inspire wonder and challenge our assumptions. They remind us that human beings have always been capable of remarkable feats when motivated by vision, dedication, and the desire to create something lasting and meaningful. The enduring fascination with ancient mysteries reflects deep human needs to understand our origins, to appreciate the achievements of our predecessors, and to place our own accomplishments in historical context. These enigmatic monuments and artifacts serve as touchstones for contemplating fundamental questions about human nature, capability, and destiny. As we continue to develop new technologies and analytical methods, the potential for resolving some of these ancient mysteries increases. Ground-penetrating radar reveals hidden chambers, satellite imagery identifies new archaeological sites, and advanced computer modeling helps us understand ancient construction and astronomical capabilities. Each technological advance brings new possibilities for discovery and understanding. Yet even as we hope for answers, we must acknowledge that some mysteries may remain forever beyond our reach. The builders of these remarkable monuments left few written records, and the passage of millennia has erased much evidence that might have explained their methods and motivations. Some questions about the past may be unanswerable, preserved only in the silent testimony of stone and the whispered legends of oral tradition. In the end, perhaps the greatest value of these ancient mysteries lies not in their eventual solution, but in their capacity to inspire wonder, curiosity, and humility. They remind us that our ancestors were capable of achievements that still challenge our understanding, that human history is far richer and more complex than we often acknowledge, and that there are still profound secrets waiting in the shadows of the past. These mysteries connect us to the eternal human quest for knowledge, meaning, and transcendence. They embody our species' remarkable capacity for vision, creativity, and monumental achievement. Most importantly, they challenge us to expand our understanding of what human beings can accomplish when they dedicate themselves to purposes greater than immediate survival or comfort. The stones still stand, the questions still beckon, and the mysteries still wait. In their enduring presence, we find both inspiration for future achievements and humbling reminders of how much we still have to learn about our own remarkable species and its extraordinary past. The ancient mysteries remain, eternal and compelling, continuing to challenge our assumptions and expand our wonder at the remarkable achievements of human civilization.